The year is 1337. A spark, ignited by dynastic claims and ancient land disputes, would soon erupt into a conflagration that would engulf France and England for generations. Swords were drawn, and the twang of bows strung across battlefields became the grim soundtrack to an era. From the thunderous clashes of pitched battles to the grueling, drawn-out sieges, the very fabric of both nations was tested. Yet even amidst this brutal conflict, a shadow fell across Europe, the Black Death, decimating populations and forever altering the social landscape. But then, a beacon of hope, a peasant girl named Joan of Arc, rose from the ashes, her unwavering spirit an inspiration that rallied a fractured nation. This centuries-long struggle, born of ambition and bloodshed, would ultimately reshape a continent, leaving an indelible mark on the course of history forever. In the 7th century, a lone Buddhist monk embarked on a journey that would redefine faith and inspire a legend. His name was Xuanzang, and his mission, to travel from China to India, the very cradle of Buddhism, to retrieve sacred scriptures. Imagine the sheer audacity. Facing treacherous deserts, unforgiving mountains, and the constant threat of bandits, Xuanzang defied imperial decree and set out alone. He walked for 17 long years, enduring unimaginable hardships, his only companions, the scriptures he sought, and his unwavering devotion. His return, laden with over 600 priceless texts, was not just a personal triumph, but a cultural earthquake. Xuanzang's pilgrimage didn't just enrich Chinese Buddhism, it ignited the imagination, giving birth to the epic tale of Journey to the West *, a story that continues to captivate millions across the globe, a testament to the enduring power of belief and the indomitable human spirit. Imagine a wound opening in the earth, not of flesh, but of fire and fury. In June of 1783, on the windswept plains of southern Iceland, the Laki fissure ripped open. For 8 long months, this colossal volcanic rift spewed forth an unimaginable torrent of lava, blanketing the land in a molten tide. But the real terror lay hidden within the smoke. Vast quantities of deadly sulfur dioxide billowed into the atmosphere, poisoning the skies and unleashing a rain of acid rain and choking ash. The consequences were global. Crops withered, livestock perished, and a devastating famine swept across Europe and North America. This was no localized disaster. This was the Laki Eruption, the deadliest volcanic event in recorded history, a stark reminder of nature's awesome and destructive power. Imagine a world before paper, before ink, a world where the very act of recording history was a painstaking, physical endeavor. Then, in the Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia, something truly revolutionary began to take shape. The Sumerians, facing the complexities of a burgeoning civilization, needed a way to keep track of their harvests, their trade, their laws. And so, they invented cuneiform, wedge-shaped marks pressed into soft clay. It wasn't just a simple alphabet. It was a complex system of symbols that could represent sounds, syllables, and even whole words. This ingenious innovation, born out of necessity, would become the bedrock of written communication for millennia, preserving the stories, wisdom, and triumphs of ancient peoples for us to discover today. Imagine a world shrouded in myth, where the Atlantic was a terrifying void, the end of all known lands. Then, around 325 BCE, a bold mariner from the Greek colony of Massalia, a man named Pytheas, dared to sail beyond the Pillars of Hercules, the very edge of the known world. He ventured into the vast, uncharted Atlantic, his small ship a fragile speck against the immensity of the ocean. Pytheas journeyed to shores unknown, even reaching the distant island of Britain. But his most astonishing discovery was Thule, a land of perpetual twilight and frozen seas, the first European account of the Arctic. He meticulously recorded the tides, a phenomenon largely ignored by his contemporaries, and weathered brutal storms that would have claimed lesser men. Pytheas returned, not just with tales of distant lands, but with a revolutionary understanding of the world, forever expanding the horizons of human knowledge. The year is 479 BCE. The mighty Persian Empire, stung by defeat at Salamis, unleashed its vast legions once more, intent on crushing the defiant Greek city-states. But this time, Greece stood united. On the plains near Plataea, a tense standoff ensued, weeks of strategic maneuvering and skirmishes that tested the resolve of both sides. The formidable Persian cavalry harried the Greek flanks, and whispers of cutting supply lines grew louder. Then, against all expectation, came the thunderous, full-scale assault. Ferocious combat erupted, a desperate clash where every man fought for his homeland. When the dust settled, the Persian general lay dead, and Greece had achieved a decisive victory. This was more than a battle. It was the dawn of freedom, the moment Greek civilization secured its future. The roar of jet engines, the promise of a holiday, a seemingly routine flight, all shattered on a sun-drenched Sunday afternoon in 1977. On the island of Tenerife, the world's worst aviation disaster unfolded in a fog-choked runway. Two Boeing 747s, one on takeoff, the other taxiing, collided in a catastrophic inferno, claiming 583 lives. Imagine the unimaginable confusion, the desperate scramble, the sheer terror as metal tore apart and flames consumed everything. This tragedy, born from a series of miscommunications and a dense blanket of fog, forever changed aviation safety protocols, leading to stricter air traffic control procedures and improved pilot training, a somber legacy born from the ashes of Los Rodeos. Imagine, if you will, a vast, unforgiving expanse of sand, stretching further than the eye can see, under a sun that bleaches the very sky. This was the Sahara, a realm of death, for all but the most determined. Yet, into this crucible of heat and desolation, a man named Laing would venture, driven by a thirst for discovery and a whisper of legend. He aimed to be the first European to cross this formidable barrier, not by camel caravan, but alone, or with minimal support, charting a course through uncharted territory. His journey was a brutal test of endurance, facing blinding sandstorms, crippling thirst, and the ever-present threat of the unknown. Laing's daring trek, though fraught with peril, etched his name into the annals of exploration, proving that the seemingly impossible could, with sheer will, be overcome, forever expanding the world's known map.